So, part D says a star forms from a large cloud of gas and dust in space. Describe what happens as the star forms. So, when we are talking about star formation, what we believe is we are having, let's say, gas particles or dust particles in space, and they collapse due to gravitational attraction at a single point. And as they collapse, what happens? First, temperature increases. Why do temperature increases? See, since when particles they are spread in a larger area comes to collapse or collapse under a smaller area, they would definitely have increased friction. That friction would cause the particles to have greater kinetic energy and then finally have temperature. And that increase in temperature then leads to fusion. That means these smaller particles then fuse to form bigger particle or bigger core, what we say as this represents the core. Then what happens next? See, this core reaches a final equilibrium. Now, what kind of equilibrium is that? See, in this core, there are two processes happening. First one is gravitational collapse. That is for some reason these particles they started to come to a single point or they started to converge at a single point. The other thing is nuclear fusion. So when I say this star has reached an equilibrium, what I mean to say the rate of gravitational collapse and the rate of nuclear emission or nuclear fusion. Since we all know that fusion releases energy, so energy release is balanced by what? Is balanced by the particles collapsing inside it. So if these two rates are equal, then this is a stable star. If for example rate of emission of energy is higher, then this star will go on spreading and spreading and expanding into the universe. And if for example this rate of conversion is higher, then it will finally be smaller and smaller and smaller and shrinking to a single entity and then destroys itself. So I can write describe what happens as the star forms as the particles collapse under gravity in space. They have an increased temperature due to internuclear or particular or atomic vibrations. As a result of this, the particles they fuse together, triggering a nuclear fusion reaction. Finally, the star attains an equilibrium due to two simultaneous processes. That is the nuclear fusion and the gravitational attraction. That's it. Then it says the isotope of hydrogen 1 has a half-life of 12 years. This is important 12 years. What is meant by half-life? Half-life is the time required by a radioactive sample to half the decay rate or activity. Then it says sample contains 16,000 atoms of 1s3. So this is basically number of parent atoms. Calculate the number of atoms present in the sample after 48 years. So as given in part E, it says half-life was, I'm writing T half is 12 years. And they are asking me to find out the number of atoms left after 48 years. So time I'm given it is with 48 years. So what I can do is I can calculate the number of half-lives between 48 years from 12 years. So I can have number of half-lives as 48, that is the required time, and the half-life. So my answer would be 4 half-lives. So if I'm having 4 half-lives in between 12 and 48, that means 16,000. The original number of counts or original atoms would decay 4 times. So first decay, second decay, third decay, and fourth decay. I'm sorry, this would be 2. So what do we have? 1000 atoms left after 4 half-lives.